Right, good evening. Yep, I'm not in my games room, I'm down in the living room because my daughter's upstairs. So, yeah, I have been kicked out the games room. So, how the hell are you? It's Friday night, excuse me. It's damned cold, that's all I can say. You can certainly tell that winter's, I wouldn't even say winter's round the corner, winter has arrived. Had the heating on the last probably all week actually, I think. So how the hell are you? I'm fine. I've been busy with work, but I've got exactly 1 week left of the old job. It's going to be, I don't mind admitting, I wouldn't say I'm nervous. I'm slight trepidation because I've actually had very, very few jobs in my life. I mean, the job that I'm in just now, not the exact job that I'm in just now, but the company that I've worked for, I've effectively worked for 19 years, and then I was also in a 13-year job, so that's kind of 33 years I've only really been with sort of two companies, albeit I've two paid across to different ones. So I'm one of these creatures who tends to kind of get into a bit of I wouldn't say a rut as such. You get into a kind of comfort zone, that's the word I'll use for it. You get into a kind of comfort zone with jobs and you just kind of go along with it, you roll with it, you know, when it's going crap, you moan about it, and when it's going good, you kind of don't moan about it. But the job I'm doing at the moment, I mean, excuse me 2 seconds, sorry, jump cut, I had to let my dog out there. Yeah, the job I'm in just now, I actually do quite enjoy the job, but the company have effectively made managing the job impossible. You know, to the point that I'm conscious of not doing stuff that I should be doing. You know, and when it gets to a point where you're replying to emails at 7 o'clock at night, you know, 2-3 times a week, you know it's time to look for something else. So I've not mentioned it on my waffle because for obvious reasons, you don't know who's watching it. It could be anybody, you know what I mean? So I have been looking for a job for probably about the last 3-4 months, maybe slightly longer. I'm not going to talk about the new job at the moment, I'll wait and see how that goes, but I do start that next, when do I start that? I start that on the 4th of November. So I'm looking forward to it, I am looking forward to it. I won't look forward to leaving all the people that I've worked with. I mean, I've worked with some of these people for a long, long time. And as you know, you spend a lot of time at work, you know, you really do. So yeah, I'm going to miss a lot of people. It's going to be a big change for me, but I'm hoping it's going to be for the better. So yeah, that's been that. I've not done very much. I will be doing a pickup, well, not a pickup video because it was a birthday present. My very generous girlfriend gave me a Mega Drive Mini for my birthday, or part of my birthday. So I was talking to Lone Boys Post 1975 and he was saying to me, you absolutely have to do an opening video. I don't normally do these opening video things, I don't really see the point of them. But he said it's a wicked console. He says it's the best mini system out there. He said you need to do one, so I'm going to do one. I was going to apologise about the lack of videos. I have managed to put a couple of videos. I've got a few videos that are just waiting to kind of get finished. And next week I am intending to start digging into the archives of some of the features that I have, because I'm conscious probably in the last year I seem to be making the same videos. I'm making obviously the Friday Waffles I do that every week. I'm making an awful lot of 8-bit face-off kerfuffles, which is fun. I do enjoy making them, and I think most people do enjoy them. I still do the occasional arcade perfect my arse, but if you're kind of been on the channel a long time, you'll know that I've got a lot of other features that I've done. I've got the Blymates only where I interview people, various other ones. I also had one that I used to enjoy, which was called That Was the Year That Was, and I would basically look at games that came out in the arcade in a particular year, look at the sort of the most kind of popular games. I'm sure I started doing that for the Spectrum and Commodore 64. So I'll need to jump back in again. I have been doing a lot more collab videos, obviously, both with Lone Boys Post and also with Lacosa. I love doing these collab videos. It's good fun. Certainly beats just, doing what I'm doing at the moment, sitting talking to an inanimate object. So I will be doing some. I've got one planned for next Tuesday, I think it is, with Lacosa. I think I've got that. Yeah, next Tuesday. And before I forget, I might well do a live stream on Sunday night. I always enjoy live streams on Sunday nights. I think Sundays are horrible. It's the day before you go back to work. So if I can, I'm going to do a live stream Sunday night. So if you want to join me for that, it would always be wicked. So listen, I don't have anything really to talk about other than answering some questions. So I'm just going to jump in. And I'm actually going out. I dropped my girlfriend off. She's at this sort of night out thing. I dropped her off earlier on. And I've got to go and pick her up again. So I had to kind of dash back. I wanted to get this video done and get back out again. So let me just see. I think there were a few questions. Right, I was talking about, one of the guys asked me about the Dragon 32. Scott Brian, the Coco was very similar to the Dragon, except the Coco had NTSC artifacting, whatever the hell that is. Well, the Dragon did not, so the Coco had a similar graphics chip to the Apple II, although some games were direct ports from the Dragon, so a lot of games are really green. Yeah, the Dragon games were indeed green. Colin Jones, continuing after being interrupted by a MainMeister live streaming, that was last week. Crowdfunding will occasionally produce a masterpiece, usually it fails badly. Some are complete rip-offs, I tend to avoid. Jeff Minter is a legend. Sadly, I see the funding was unsuccessful. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, there was a Kickstarter for basically a film all about Lamasoft. Now, I think that would have been really good. Now, I've got to say, I didn't put into it. But Colin's saying here, I wonder how much it actually failed by. That's a shame. Have you seen Player 2 by Juggernaut for the Vectrex? It's a collection of two-player games that require two people controllers. Not cheap though, £56 plus packaging and posting for the cheapest version. I haven't. Juggernaut, never heard of it. You'll know me, guys, I generally don't really keep up to date. For somebody who is into these video games, I don't really keep up to date with current happenings. It's usually when I read a comment on YouTube or something, or somebody talks about it on Facebook, whatever, then I'll maybe go, oh, I'll need to have a look at that. But I really don't. I'm more a historian. I actually look upon myself as a historian than a games player. I like to always talk about the past, which is, I think it's a thing that happens with age. Panther UK, good waffling, mate. The whole IP thing was pathetic, really. I felt for the girl initially, but then when I saw the hate, bile and threats being flung out by her supporters, including a lot of people I respected, I started to switch off as it gradually turned into a cash grab. Yeah, I've got my own thoughts on the whole thing. I do think that the guy was portrayed slightly unfairly. But, I'm not going to say any more about it because there's plenty out there if you want to go and read about it. One just interesting, as you know, as you may know, Octavius, who puts out videos featuring Horus, she had an IP strike against her channel by somebody who claims to own Horus. What's interesting is my mate Steve Snake wrote Horus in the robots. Now he did write it especially for me, which I was really pleased because he knew I liked Berserk. It's an utterly fantastic game, but it's interesting, nobody has come near him. Is that because it's portraying Horus in a good light? I've really no idea. Excuse me. For next time, because you've been doing your shoot 'em up series again, what would you say are your top 5 shoot 'em ups across all systems? Oh man. Now I was I was talking to Lacosa, what night was it? Thursday night? Was it Thursday night? Thursday night? And we had an interesting, we're actually going to be putting out a video all about shoot 'em ups. And we had an interesting conversation about what defines a shoot 'em up. So I think, yeah, we're probably going to get into the realms of what actually defines a shoot 'em up. I'm not going to talk about it in this waffle, but we're basically going to try and come up with our favourite shoot 'em ups. And two of his favourite shoot 'em ups are two of my favourite games, but I would not class them as a shoot 'em up. That's one for next week. Oh, blimey. Again, it's one of these questions, Chris. If you asked me it tomorrow, I would give you 5 different answers. Are there any shoot 'em ups that are not arcade games that I would include? You know what, there are some great shoot 'em ups on home systems, but sadly I don't think any of them would make it into my top 5. If I had a top 100, there would be absolutely stuff like Drop Zone, Beam Rider, whatever, Exterminator on the C64, which was a shameful rip-off of Centipede. No, I think my top 5 would they would absolutely be arcade games. In no particular order, you would have Terra Cresta. I love it because it's you've got good power-ups, it's quite easy. 1942 probably, that would be in there. What else? I would probably say Galaxian. That's 3. Oh, it's a tough one. I do like myself a bit of R-Type. But would it be in my top 5? I don't know. I don't know, I like Raiden. I like Dodon Pachi. I love Phoenix. God, that's a difficult one. Listen, you know what? Since we're actually going to be doing a video next week, since we're doing a collab video, I'm just going to leave that at that. You will see then, Chris, what are my top 5 favourite shoot 'em ups. But thank you very much for the question anyway, buddy, as always. Mr. Scullery, this is a tech question for you tubers. Read a Horace Row. How hard would it be for her to just remove all the intros and then re-upload everything with a new intro? Could it have been done bit by bit over a few weeks? Well, personally, I would say it is extremely easy because there's free bits of software out there that you can use. I think there's even add-ons for like Firefox where you can download your video and then you can just put it into a video editor and then you can cut out what bit you don't want and then you can stick a new intro. Now, Octavius does not have a lot of videos. I mean, I don't know how many she's done. I would be very surprised if she's even done 100 videos. I might be talking nonsense, but you know what? It wouldn't take particularly long. It'll take a few minutes to download it, and then it'll take maybe, depending on the length of video, it'll take maybe 15-20 minutes to re-upload it. So no, absolutely, it would be very, very easy to download all the videos and re-upload them with a new one. And that's why I kind of thought it's not the end of the world. It really isn't. People don't watch your channel for intros. I mean, I use, apart from Arcade Perfect My Arse and a few other, I've got my 8-bit Face Off Kerfuffle, which I do like. That's one of my favourite intros because it's got a real Spectrum game loading. Yeah, I just use the same intro for most of my videos, and so yeah, it would, as far as Octavius updating our videos and putting a new intro, very, very, very easy. Incidentally, as Alan said in his waffle, if the makers of Berserk ever complain about his use of the icon, I look forward to a parody video where Alan sits crying on camera. All messy looking, bits of food in his beard, pizza boxes piled high. You know me too well, Doug. all around him, and he tells us he hasn't slept for days. Yeah, okay, listen, we'll leave it at one of that. Right, you oldie gamer Steve, happy birthday mate, hope you had a good one. I look forward to the live stream on Sunday. Yeah, thanks very much Steve, I had a really good holiday. I had a really nice birthday. Went out for a meal with my girlfriend and my daughter. That was it, I didn't really do anything else. Got some nice presents, as I say, I've got my Mega Drive Mini, which I will do a unboxing of. So I had a really, really nice time, thank you. And the oldie gamer, Steve, follows us on with another useless question for you. Have you ever bought a system and then within a week of having it you realised it was a big mistake? I got a BBC in 1983 and although I loved it, I was very jealous of my friend's C64 games, which all seemed to be so much better, so I sold the Beeb and bought one. Has there been anything that I've bought then I have immediately regretted? There are purchases that I have made, and I wouldn't say I've immediately regretted it, but I can look back now and go, never really used that. Plenty of games I could rhyme off that I've never even unopened. I mean, I've got DVDs up there which I've never opened. I think the only system that I bought, and well, there's two systems, and I've mentioned this lots and lots and lots of times. I don't have any real affection at all for the N64. Don't know why. I did buy one when it first came out. What did I have for it? I had Mario 64, I also had Mario Kart, which I wasn't a big fan of. Also had, was it Turok? Dinosaur Hunter, which was pretty dull. I didn't buy many other games for it. Pilot Wings. Yeah, I didn't buy many games for it, and then I sold it. I can't remember what I sold. I think I sold it to buy an Xbox, something like that. I can't remember exactly. But then I bought another Vectrex. I bought another N64, and then I got myself the EverDrive cartridge, which basically gives you every single game. And it sat for about 2 years and never got used. I did try to play games, but I don't know, there are some nice games, but I think, and it was Stuart Ashens that made this comment about the N64, it is probably the one system that is absolutely screaming out for a mini version. And the reason for that is, the original N64 looks crap on modern TVs. It does. I don't care what anybody says, it looks crap on modern TVs. It was really infamous for the ghostling effect because, you just try and sort of hide the blanks. So I don't think it looks good at all on modern TVs. Now with emulation, you can make games look good, but the problem with emulation is there is not a good controller for N64 games. You really needed the controller. I wasn't a fan of the controller. I happen to think that it was cheaply made. I mean, it just felt cheap. You pick up a GameCube controller, which I happen to think is probably one of the best gamepads you can ever get. It's it feels comfortable. It feels really, really good quality. The N64 controller just felt cheap and plastic, and the little analog nub, I always felt it could just snap off at any time. So I didn't like the controller, and I don't know, just the games didn't look that good, and I don't know, I never really got into the whole kind of what was it called? All these Banjo-Kazooie and all that kind of stuff. I always kind of felt that Nintendo, all their games were very childlike, but then saying that's kind of what appeals to me about the Switch. You've got your Mario games, your Donkey Kong games, your Zelda games, but no, I never had any love for the N64, really didn't. apart from Mario 64. That's the only game that I would say I miss not being able to play, although I do have an N64 emulator on my phone and it runs really well, it looks really good. Yeah, the controls aren't the best. But the only other bit of hardware that I bought, and it wasn't so much I instantly regretted it, it was more I couldn't physically get it working. And it was a thing called the Amiga, not Amiga, the Amiga. And it was effectively, I suppose you could call it an Amiga Mini. I actually thought that it was a real Amiga, it was proper Amiga hardware, and it was in a little case, but it turns out that it was basically an emulator. Now the problem was I could not get it to work with any TV that I had. I mean, I owned, I don't know, something like, I tried it on about 4 or 5 different TVs and I could not get the picture. It basically cut off a lot of the picture. So within about, I don't know, within a couple of days of buying it, I realised that I'd bought something that I could not use, and fortunately I managed to sell it. What I thought was quite interesting, the person that bought it is Chris Wilkins, who does all the Retro Fusion books. He bought it off me and he sold it within about a month of getting it as well. So I don't even know, is it still a thing? I've got absolutely no idea if it ever took off. It's called the Amiga, and like I says, I couldn't get it working. I couldn't get it to tune in properly with the TV. It was HDMI, but every TV that I tried it was basically cutting part of the. Excuse me a second. Yeah, so Chris, he sold it. He sold it right after buying it. So like I said, I don't even know if it's still a thing. Yeah, it was effectively an Amiga Mini. I don't know how. It was kind of tight. I thought it was like an original Amiga. And I thought, oh, perfect. You know, having all Amiga games on a little box just seemed like to be a dream come true. So if they ever do decide to bring out an Amiga Mini, I think I would definitely buy one. Excuse me, so thanks for the question, Steve. Yep, right, Stephen Thomberg, great waffle, mate. Got a crazy one for you this week. 3 systems: Atari 800 XL, Commodore 64, ZX Spectrum. You have to remove one from history. Which one do you pick and why? I could, if I was going to be really pernickety, I would just immediately say the Atari 800 XL, because, excuse me, the Atari 400 came out, it was released at the same time as the Atari 800. So, you know, if the Atari 800 XL never existed, nothing would have changed. We would have still had the Atari games. But I'm going to assume when you say Atari 800 XL, you're meaning the Atari 8-bit machine rather than the XL. If it was specifically that exact model, I would get rid of the 800 XL in 1 second. If you're talking about the Atari 8-bit, the C64 and the Spectrum, well, I wouldn't get rid of the Commodore 64 because that was my machine. That was the one that I grew up with. That was the one that it's still my favourite 8-bit machine. I don't think I would want to get rid of the Spectrum because I believe the Spectrum pretty much kick-started the whole computer industry in the UK. So reluctantly, if you'd said the Amstrad, it would have been an easy one, or even the BBC. Reluctantly, I would, if I had to pick and we were going for Atari 8-bit, I would say the Atari 8-bit because we would have still had the Atari XL, not XL, the Atari 2600, and we would have still got the Commodore 64. Alright, some of my favourite games like Fort Apocalypse, Blue Max, Drelbs, all these games, Dino Eggs, these games probably wouldn't have existed without the Atari 8-bit, but we would have still had the Spectrum and we would have still had the C64. So yeah, I would have to go, it would be like lining up 3 of your children and being told you've got to give one away. Who would you pick? It's It's a very, very, very difficult question. But if I had to pick, I would reluctantly go for the Atari. If it was Atari 800 XL, I wouldn't even bat an eyelid. I would do that in a second, because at the end of the day, the Atari 800 would have still had all these games. But great question, Stephen. Thanks for that. Mr. Ian Hunter, hi Alan. First of all, thanks for another interesting waffle and for reading my question. Unfortunately, the Tandy Coco suffered the same drawbacks as the Dragon, and that was mainly due to lack of software. Being an American micro, it never really took off here in the UK. Dragon 32 software kind of ran in it, but the ASCII codes were different and you had to break into the code and change things. I would have been screwed then. Quite frankly, it was a pain in the arse, so I sold it and bought a C64 disk drive. That sounds like a plan. If you ever do a waffle on purchases you regret, then the Coco would be mine. Thanks again, buddy. No worries, Ian. Thanks for always watching it. Mr. Sane Swiftos Cilios, happy birthday, old fogey. P.S. I don't care much for my birthdays either. Yeah, I've survived another year. Whoop whoop, big deal. That's exactly my thoughts, Swifto. I don't care about birthdays, though. When you get a Mega Drive Mini, that's always nice. Marco, 20th Century Gaming, happy birthday, and we'll watch your stream later due to being at work. Neil Ox, happy birthday, Al. Enjoy it, fella. Thank you very much. Wee Bob, thanks for responding to my video. Appreciate your kind words as well. I'm lagging on my YouTube watching a fair bit recently. I hope your week is going well. I do work closely with... Oh, this is a work type thing. Question for next waffle. I am not a fan of watching boxing, but I love boxing games, from Barry McGuigan to Evander Holyfield on the Mega Drive to Fight Night Round 4 and PS3. Do you like these types of games? I absolutely loved Barry McGuigan's boxing. I thought it was brilliant. I played it so much. Never ever... I think I got to maybe 10th position, but I never ever got past it. But I loved that so much. And you know what, I don't know, again, it must just be a thing about me being older. There are certain... I mean, I loved football games. I loved international soccer. I loved Sensei soccer. I loved Microprose soccer on the C64. But there's something bizarre when... So you would say that when these types of games come out on more powerful machines and they become more realistic, that I would be all over it. But the funny thing is, it seems to have the complete opposite effect with me. If I'm into a computer type game, like a football game on the Commodore 64, when it comes out in the PlayStation 4, I don't know, I think it stops being fun. It becomes too realistic, it becomes too complicated to play. And it's the same with boxing games. I mean, I did play very briefly, was it the Fight Night games on the Xbox 360, and they're like photorealistic, but I never played them. Yeah, I really do think it's just an age thing for me. I still enjoy playing the older games. So as far as the boxing games go, Bob, yeah, I loved Barry McGuigan's boxing. I really did. There weren't really any other boxing games I can think of. There was one, Fight Night, not Fight Night, you're talking about Fight Night, was on the Commodore 64. It had these huge kind of cartoon graphics, but it was just really shallow. There was really no substance to it at all. The only other boxing game I did quite like, and it was, what the hell was it called? Was it 4D boxing on the Commodore Amiga? And it was quite bizarre. It was all vector graphics, but I'm sure... it wasn't vector graphics, it was polygons, but they were really basic kind of polygon graphics. But I loved that. I really enjoyed playing that as well. But I can't think of any other boxing games. Frank Bruno's boxing the C64, never really got into that. I've never even really got into like Punch Out. I mean, there's a great game, Punch Out, on the SNES, or Super Punch Out I think they call it, and I've played it briefly, but I don't know, I've never really gelled with it at all. So no, as far as boxing games go, Bob, Barry McGuigan was probably the one I played the most, then closely followed by 4D boxing. But listen, thanks very much for your questions, buddy. Excuse me. I'm just trying to see any other questions. Yeah, Milfy Swinbuckle. Hello again, Mainmeister. Quick question for the next waffle. Which 8-bit game do you think would have worked well in the early 80s arcade? As an example, I'll put forward a game you love, the game in question being Super Pipeline series. I reckon these two games would have been classic 10 pence coin munchers if they'd been made into an arcade machine. I think I've actually said that one myself, Milfy. That would make an absolute perfect arcade game. Trying to think anything else. I mean, you could say Drop Zone. You know, that would, but then that's kind of Defender, I suppose. In fact, was there not? I'm sure there was talk. Of turning Drop Zone into an arcade machine. I don't think it ever happened. I always remember, was it Mastertronic brought out a series, was it Arcadia it was called? A series of arcade games, and they were basically using a Commodore Amiga. They were running an Amiga as the game engine. They had, what was it called? Was it Road Blasters? It was kind of, you controlled a ball. What was it called? Road something or another? You controlled this ball and you sort of buzz. It was kind of like Trailblazer, but not as good. What else? There was also a darts game. I can't remember what it was called. There was a darts game that was released by it as well, and you could basically get, because it was an Amiga that was running them, they brought out they released it for the Amiga as well, so you were getting arcade perfect ports. The only problem was the games were absolutely pissed to begin with. But trying to think, yeah, maybe Exploding Fist. Imagine a real nice bright arcade version of Exploding Fist. That would have been quite nice. Any other games? Would Whizball? Don't know if Whizball would really make it as an arcade game. A lot of other games that I'm thinking of are kind of ports, like Juno First. Juno First, of course it is. Beam Rider, that would have been quite nice as an arcade game, but then you could say Juno First is possibly that as well. Can't think of any other games offhand, but no, I mean, the obvious ones. I'll tell you one game I would like to see as an arcade game. It would be Fort Apocalypse. That would be nice. That would be really, really nice. So anyway, listen, thanks for your questions. And I think, oh no, I've still got a few more to go. Down the rabbit hole. Hi Alan, apologies for not sending you questions for a while. You were in Blackpool and then I was in Portland, so we passed each other. To make up for it, here are several new questions. First of all, I just bought Jeff Minter's Minotaur Arcade for PSVR. Thanks for reminding me about that. Are you going to buy it given how much you enjoyed his Polybius? I did buy it, Kev. I bought it last week and I completely forgot all about it. I've got to say, it is bloody awesome. It's basically, he brought out Grid Runner for the iPhones and also the Android. And it's kind of like made an arcade version of it. So it's kind of tipping its hat to Milfy's question earlier on. Yeah, if you imagine Grid Runner in an arcade, this is pretty much what Jeff's done. Now you can play it in standard 2 dimensions or you can play it in PSVR, and I've got to say it's brilliant. Goat Up is a bizarre game. You basically have to try and eat, or you don't, it's not so much grass, you've got to try and run over the platforms whilst constantly jumping, because basically you're on a tower and it's got a really nice kind of effect, similar to Nebulous, the way the tower kind of rotates. But you control this little goat and you've got to run from side to side along the platforms, but it's constantly going down. You have to keep jumping to make sure you don't, because once you basically fall off the bottom, it's game over. You also get little billy goats which you pick up and they follow you. and you've got these, are they bison I think it is, or yaks, I'm not quite sure. They walk about on the platforms and you've basically got to jump over the baddies, and you use the little tail of the little baddies, the little goats that follow you, and you can use them to kill. You've also got some little baddies that walk back and forwards. But typical Jeff Minter, he plagiarises games like nothing on earth. There's lots of sound effects from Robotron, from what else? Robotron Defender. He uses graphics from what I'm trying to think. There's various Atari graphics. He uses the graphics from Miner 2049er. But it's a brilliant game, and wasn't looking forward to that, because the Minotaur arcade you get both Grid Runner and Go Up, and both are brilliant. They're really nice to play normally, but they're extra special with when you've got a set of headphones and you've got the PSVR. I don't think I've ever done a gameplay of the PSVR on a PlayStation 4, but I'm 100% going to do that because it's a brilliant game. I mean, they're old style games, so I really, really enjoy them. Secondly, should the new Link's Awakening on Nintendo's Switch be the same price tag as Breath of the Wild, considering one is a Game Boy remake and the other is a sprawling open world? I didn't know that, Kev, so it's going to be the same price. It does seem a wee bit cheeky. I suppose they're thinking that the people that are going to buy it are probably people that have never ever owned the game before. I mean, the Game Boy came out in 1989, I think it was, which was a long time ago. That's 30 years ago, so chances are anybody under 30 years old has probably never played Link's Awakening on the Game Boy, so I think that's probably why, where Nintendo are going with this. They'll be thinking, well, it's a brand new audience. Yeah, people like myself, I know that I'm going to buy it, people like myself that did play it back in the day may be thinking it's a bit cheeky, but you know what can you do? I mean, some of the remakes I have, the HD remakes, are full price as well, so yeah, it's one of these things. And thirdly, on the topic of sprawling open world games, people are beginning to spoil online the ending of Red Dead Redemption 2, which is forcing me to cover my ears. So I wonder, when is it too soon for spoiling the story of a video game? It's, you know what, Kev, I would probably say that within a week you're going to have somebody uploading walkthroughs for games. Sometimes I have to use these walkthroughs because I'm rubbish at the games. So yeah, I think as long as people are, Red Dead Redemption 2 has been out for quite a long time. It came out, was it over Christmas? It came out last year, so it's been out for almost a year. So to be honest, I would say I don't think it's too soon now. I think a year's plenty time. But as long as people do put spoilers in the video, because there's nothing worse if you're getting into it. I mean, that's a game I played for maybe 3 hours and then I just stopped playing it. Not sure why, but yeah, I think as long as people do tell other people that there's spoilers, then it's fair enough. Fourthly, are you a bigger fan of Gradius or R-Type? I'm asking because a video recently claimed that R-Type was a bigger, better known shoot 'em up back in the 80s, and I'm curious as if you agree. That's a difficult one. Again, that's like trying to pick your favourite child. I'm not really a massive fan of the Gradius arcade game because I just find it too difficult. What I tend to do when I'm playing it, I pick up too many speeds and it becomes uncontrollable, and then I end up crashing or dying all the time when you're trying to pick up. You end up hitting the top of the screen or the bottom of the screen. But Gradius 5 on the... is it 5? Gradius 5 on the PlayStation 2 is one of the best shoot 'em ups you'll ever play. In fact, I've just this minute said that if I had to pick a shoot 'em up, they would all be arcade. Well, Gradius 5 is an absolute stonking shoot 'em up. It really, really is. It's beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. You wouldn't actually believe that it was running on a PlayStation 2. I think you could easily think it was an Xbox 360. However, I do like R-Type a I love R-Type. If I was to pick what my favourite game out of either Gradius or R-Type, and we're not talking about Gradius 5, we're talking about the original Gradius, I think I would have to go for R-Type. Yeah, I love it. Excuse me. And finally, many people are taking scary games now. Finally, many people are talking scary games now, and someone brought up a good question I'd like to hear your opinion of. Is BioShock a horror game? BioShock is quite a... How do you define horror? If it's blood and gore... Well, you know what? BioShock has got a lot of jump scares. I mean, these things that just jump on you. It is quite a scary game. I wouldn't say it's not as blood and gore. It's more... I would say BioShock is sort of more unsettling because it's featured in such a beautiful environment. I mean, the game world with all the sort of the gothic-y Victorian atmosphere, it's a beautiful game world. But again, it's quite unsettling just with the baddies and the fact that you're controlling these. You've got these little girls, little sisters who are like possessed. And even the BioShock, the big daddy themselves are quite eerie. The whole, they're like deep sea divers, but you don't actually know what controls them. It's a bizarre thing. I wouldn't really describe it as a horror game, but it's, if you've got kind of frayed nerves like I have, it is quite a scary game. There's a lot of jump scares in it, but I wouldn't go so far as to say it's a horror game, but I would say it kind of sits in the middle. But BioShock, that's one of these games I really need to replay again because I loved it so much. There's so many ways to play it. And I did, in fact, you know what, I never actually completed it. I got to the very, very end, last bit, and I never actually finished it. But BioShock is an awesome game, but is it a horror? It's kind of half and half, I would say, mate. But listen, Kev, thanks for the questions, buddy. Right, Lacosa, I don't think... Yeah, I was talking about crowdfunding. Star Citizen. I mentioned that last week. Now, Lacosa's saying here, I could rant for Britain about Star Citizen and have done in numerous videos. Star Citizen is a gaming con of such magnitude that it makes the infamous Phantom console debacle look credible. It's now been going for 7 years, has raised a budget of over 300 million, or to put it another way, more than the budget for the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy films. All from crowdfunding, and yet it's still only in alpha, not even close to beginning its beta phase. It had countless big names associated with it, including, for all retro fans, Martin Galway, who was brought in for audio duties but left after 6 months with very little positive to say about it. There is no sign of a release date because the chief con artist has absolutely no reason to or incentive to release anything. Anyone who still believes this game will ever be published as a finished product is utterly deluded. £300 million or dollars this guy has made, and chances are people will never actually get anything. Just ridiculous. Doug Scullery again. Here's 2 questions for the waffle. This one got overlooked last week. In the light of recent copyright infringement drama, would Jim Bagley be best advised to change the name of his Berserk clone to Doris and the Robots? Hang on, I think you're getting your wires crossed, Doug. Are you thinking of Horace and the Robots? That wasn't Jim Bagley, that was my mate Steve Snake that wrote that. Let's bring it on, that's all I say. I mean, it's it's the best conversion of Berserk, bar anything. Absolutely, head and shoulders above everything. Yeah, it's Steve Snake that wrote it, Doug, not Jim Bagley. Number 2, the government's Children's Commissioner has released a report stating that in-game loot box purchases should be reclassified and regulated as a form of gambling available to adults only. A good idea. 100%. I did talk about that in a waffle maybe about a year ago. That's what these are. These are effectively gambling. You buy something, you get a box, you've got no idea what's in it, and you're disappointed, you know, because they obviously put the expensive weapons in only a tiny handful. I mean, my daughter, I wouldn't say she was addicted to them, but any spare money she had, she was spending it on loot boxes for Overwatch, and then Fortnite. Well, it was more Overwatch she was spending, and it used to really annoy me because it was effectively like throwing money down the drain. So I think that these should absolutely be regulated the same way as gambling, because that's what they are. It's like a lucky dip. You don't know what you're going to get. So definitely, Doug. Now, Mr. Mad Commodore has put an absolute humongous comment. There it's there. I'm not actually going to read that out. I don't think he's asking any questions, but I will actually read through that at some point. Yeah, I don't think there's any questions as such. But listen, thanks for your comments, Mad Commodore. I always do support it. Appreciate it, I should say. Yeah, an interesting point here. Acidonia 150. The whole Nintendo not allowing videos has not been true for over a year. They realised it was hurting their sales, so are now fine with gameplay videos. Yeah, which is good. I'm glad to hear that. I didn't actually realise that, and that's good, because I never understand why a company would ban people from making videos, especially at the end of the day. It's good promotion, unless of course the person is absolutely hammering the game saying it's crap. But you know, I'm glad to see that Nintendo have kind of come to their senses and allowing people to use it, because people, if the copyright goes too daft, then it's going to mean that channels like myself won't be able to operate. I mean, I can always still do Friday Waffles, but I wouldn't be allowed to do any gameplay. So I'm glad that they saw sense at the end of the day, which is great. So anyway, listen guys, I'm going to draw this video to a close. I am going to hopefully do a stream on Sunday night, probably about maybe 7-8 o'clock, something like that. What I will do is I'll put a wee post in my Facebook page to let you know, but that's the plan, Dan, a live stream on Sunday. Just remains for me to say, guys, thank you to everybody that continues to support my channel. If you're new to the channel and you've subscribed, thank you very, very much. Apparently there's a bell thing. If you want to see when I put out a new video, you hit the bell and you get a wee notification. I wasn't really aware of how that worked, but I never understood why I got notifications for some channels and not for others. So anyway, as always guys, have a fantastic weekend, and thank you very, very much for watching.